we're all conditioned at an early age to completely ignore it. I remember I was told specifically by my own mom, by my dad, oh, that girl that's hitting you, she likes you. Just let her hit you. Just let her hit you. That's why she's hitting you. You know, girls growing up, they would pinch you, they kick you. You playing with your friends, doing whatever you do, and some girl would run up and, get in your face and start talking crazy to you. And, your initial reaction is to knock that bitch out. But due to society, due to the parameters, you're conditioned at an early age. Don't hit girls. Girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Let her get away with whatever she wants to do. It's basically her world and you just live in it. And you're kind of taught this early on. You're taught, at these dances that you go to growing up. Ask her, you have to ask her. I remember my mother told me, she said it's a man's job to ask and it's a woman's job to say no. And I just remember thinking, what the hell does that even mean? That sounds crazy. I talked to my dad about it, and my dad was a simp. He didn't know what to say. He was a complete idiot. So, we as men, we really have been done like a huge disservice in regards to, accepting the fact that what we're dealing with is someone who is very cruel, who's been conditioned to be cruel. These women out here, from early ages, them being mean to you, we're taught to just accept that. And then, you fast forward to high school, and it's basically the same thing. I remember I got the hell beat out of me in high school by a couple of girls. They just start hitting me in the arm. And the teachers, I remember I had a lot of female teachers, and that's something to think about too. Predominantly, there are female teachers. I think there's like 20% male teachers and, 80% female teachers. And all the female teachers, they wouldn't really pay too much attention to it. They'd be like, oh, they're a couple. Ha 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 ha. And how is that even logical? Because if I was to turn around and just like cold cock one of these cunts, I would be probably going to jail in high school. Yet and still, this chick is like beating my arm till it turns red. I remember these things called frogs, where they like the skin would like jump. It was this weird thing you could do if you hit somebody hard enough. It's just craziness. But the cruelty of these chicks, it goes from there on to their adult lives. Except now that she's an adult, she's already had like more than a few guys inside of her. And more than a few guys have probably broken her heart. So now she's really, really angry. And her anger and her cruelty can be seen in her actions. Anytime you take a chick out and she's showing that attitude, she's got an opinion, a hard opinion on everything. Like, oh, I feel this way. I feel that way. It's because she's out of her goddamn mind. That's what it is. The truth is, you're probably sitting across from a woman who has been fucked to madness. And that's just the straight up truth. Like, these chicks out here, they are unimaginably cruel. And a lot of them get off on the fact that you're going to pay for their dinner, for their lunch, and they know that just before they got done seeing you, they were giving head to some homeless guy in the parking lot. Like, I mean, for real. Like, they get off on that shit. And then some of these chicks, like, they probably made out with some dude or some girl before they came to see you. And they're inside there laughing. Like, they'll just be dying laughing. I know some people are probably thinking, no, there's no way. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to do some research on it, go and get a job working for a private investigator. Go get a job working for a private investigator. I guarantee you, you will find out more than you ever thought possible in regards to these women and what all they're capable of. Because her cruelty, like it's just cruelty is a word that I think covers it best, because it's when you're willingly, knowingly, intentionally mean to someone. You're doing things intentionally to hurt them, like full knowledge of what you're doing. And these girls out here, they're out here getting plastered by like guys. And I had a friend of mine, and I'm gonna tell you this, and then I'm gonna end this video. I had a friend of mine, good guy. He's one of the best guys. He got married to this girl that we worked with, and I looked at her, and there was just always something about her that I thought was just a little off. I mean, even though she and we had talked before, we'd had conversations. I remember my buddy, he made a good point to try to introduce her to me. We only had like one conversation where it was like me and her, just us talking. And after that, we were never really alone together. But I could kind of tell something was not quite right. Anyway, there was this one gym I used to go to. This is a couple years back, where it was a 24-hour fitness. And I used to go there really, really, really early in the morning, because I didn't like a lot of people. I don't like to be around a lot of people a lot of times. And she started showing up there by herself without her husband. And I thought that was a little weird. But even more weird than that was the fact that she was wearing these outfits, these just really slutty outfits to work out in. And I remember one day, I was on a treadmill, and she came and she saw me and got on the treadmill with me. And like, treadmills are designed for just one person to be on them, but yet she still decided to get on the treadmill with me. If that gives you any indication of how in my personal space this chick was. And she started showing me photos of her progress, her workout progress. It was basically just her in a swimsuit. And I was just scrolling around on her phone, looking at her in swimsuits. She was just showing me her body and what it really looks like. And I thought that was really odd. But I just kept thinking, my homeboy, he's probably, at the house sleep or gaming. He's really hardcore into like MMOs. So I didn't really think much about it. Fast forward a couple months from then, and she's telling me all about, like, one day she's just talking to me, and she's telling me about how she just discovered that she's bisexual and that she likes women and men. And like the way she was saying it, it was like she wanted to fuck me. Like, that was the way she was looking at me and saying it. It was like her eyes were kind of almost glazed over, and her mouth was like open, and she had this hungry look while she was looking at me. And I said to her, well, what did Victor say about you being, bisexual? And she was like, what? We're not together anymore. We're getting a divorce. And that kind of snapped her out of it. And I remember thinking, like, wait a minute, you're getting a divorce and you're just sitting up here casually talking to me, and you've been casually coming in here for months dressing like a hoe? What's going on? So like, she told me that, and like, I was like, oh wow. Well, I immediately text my boy, and then he was all like, yeah man, shit's not working out, she's saying she's gay now. And I was just like, what the hell? So I remember I looked at her, and she was like, yeah, I'm bi. And then I was like, what? And then she's like, well, I don't do threesomes, but, I'm bisexual. But the way she was looking at me was like she wanted to fuck me specifically. And because she knows the bond that we have. Man, me and this dude, we got like a secret handshake. That's how tight we are. Like, we got like a handshake that like nobody else has. Like, and we just do it automatically whenever we see each other. It's like we actually took the time to make this shit up. And it's like, her knowing what that would do to him, I mean, it shows the unimaginable cruelty in this whore's heart. Like, the unimaginable cruelty. And then I think like a couple weeks after that, I remember I actually stopped going to the gym because of her. Anyway, I went to the gym, I worked out, and she was following me the whole time I was in the gym. Everywhere I went, she would follow me. And I was leaving, and I remember I walked straight out. I walked straight to my fucking car, and I got in it. And as I was getting in, I was turning it on, and I see her coming walking straight at my car. And I was like, oh my God, and I just drove off. I was like, fuck this shit. Like, this is terrible, man. Like, that girl and the way she is, her mindset. See, a woman, she's not gonna if she wants to hurt you, they're not gonna necessarily screw like random dudes. A woman is gonna try to fuck like your best friend. In this case, I was the best friend. And it's like, to this day, I've never told my homeboy about this situation. I mean, I'm kind of talking about it now, just venting, but I still think about that sometimes, and I'm like, wow, like, she is evil. Like, she's literally, there's no other way to describe this. And this is the situation that a lot of guys are in. And I could kind of tell, that my homeboy was like, things weren't right with him because he was putting on a lot of weight. Like, he's putting on a lot of weight. He was just looking stressed. Like, his gaming times were sporadic. The times we would hang out, it was sporadic. I would see his wife just in these outfits that I would have a problem with a girl. If I was even thinking about, man, I don't even have to be in a relationship with a chick. The shit that girl had on was inappropriate. I'm just saying it straight up. It was straight up freaking inappropriate. All right, it was like, you should not be walking around with your fucking clit hanging out. It's just crazy. I mean, it's like crazy, man. But all I'm saying is, girls can be very cruel. And I mean, this is in the Book of Remembrance. It's a recurring theme. All wickedness is but little compared to the wickedness of a woman. And I know as men, it's easy to get hung up on a chick. It's easy to like get into a chick. It's natural. It's normal. I'm happy that you like women. I like women. But these women, they are so evil that once you become aware of it, the attraction that you have with them is going to diminish. It has to. Because her intentions are to hurt you. Her intentions are cruelty itself. And that's all I want to talk about. Peace.